Hello ladies and gents, tomorrow is the beginning of E3, or at least the beginning of the E3 conferences. We're covering the streams again, and should be fun, although some of the late breaking news that's been coming in has been, depending on what you want from E3, it's going to have quite the change. The bigger no-shows of the event is going to be the Call of Duty multiplayer is not going to be at E3. Call of Duty is having its own conference called Call of Duty XP in September, which it's Call of Duty is now doing its own thing. The multiplayer is not going to be here. It's going to be at Call of Duty XP in September, which is weeks from when it comes out, which is quite the concern more than anything else, especially with the way that people have responded to this Call of Duty. So, if you're a Call of Duty fan, you're probably going to get the single player, but that's probably going to be it. And contrary to what Nintendo said even last year, the Nintendo NX is not going to be at the event. There is no new Nintendo console there. It's coming out next year, although they did say last year's E3 that, if you want to watch our new console, then we're going to be coming here next year. Bollocks. So, no new Nintendo console, and on top of that, no new PlayStation console. The PS4 Neo is not going to be there, although Sony have confirmed it. They're saying that it's probably going to be coming out soonish, all the sort of stuff. They confirmed that it's going to be 4K, so the whole name of it being 4K is sort of apt. To me, I think the only reason why they're doing this is so the PlayStation VR has something stronger to deal with. That's pretty much the only reason why I think they're doing this new console, because otherwise it's a really, really dumb idea for a console to have an intermediary console cycle, because it doesn't work. It's not as cheap as a phone, even though the phones are not really that cheap, but it's not a phone. It's not a tablet. It's a very, very expensive piece of gear, and if people are going to do sort of intermediary cycles, they're going to get something like a PC, which they can change and adapt and modify and gut and change with much, much more simplicity, rather than buying a whole new box every couple of years. So I think that the only reason why they're doing it is for VR, and I really hope it doesn't stick, because for console developers to start doing this is a really, really dumb idea. And on that topic, Microsoft isn't doing anything with the Scorpio this year, surprisingly enough, although they have been very stum about a Xbox One Slim. So there's probably going to be an Xbox One Slim with a price drop, so they can sell more. They're very behind PlayStation 4 at the moment, so it would certainly help for them to go, here's a slim version and it's slightly cheaper. So yeah, that could probably happen, but there is no Scorpio, and they haven't confirmed any Scorpio. It's just still rumours at this point in time, so take that. Going on to what is actually going to be in the conferences, the first conference is going to be EA. That is going to start at 1 PM Pacific or 9 PM UK, depending on workout from your region. The confirmed ones are going to be Battlefield 1, that's definitely going to be there. Star Wars Battlefield with their Bespin update, that's going to be there. I can probably make a good guess that Mirror's Edge Catalyst is going to be there, considering that only came out like a couple of weeks ago. So that's probably going to be there just as a buy this game now sort of thing. Mass Effect Andromeda, BioWare's new thing, is probably going to have a thing as well, because they were teasing it last year. It's probably not going to come out for a while, but still probably going to have some big things for it. If they do come out, it'd be quite surprising. Titanfall 2 has been teased, so there's going to be Titanfall 2. The reason why Titanfall 2 is going to be a big thing is because only the first game was exclusive to Xbox. Titanfall 2 is not exclusive to Xbox, it's multi-platform, so that's the reason why there's going to be a big deal probably around Titanfall 2, because everyone can buy it now. Then there's going to be the usual sports stuff of Madden, FIFA, sports stuff, NFL, NHL. If you like that sort of thing, go ahead. I hope they don't spend too much time on it, because that is the time when I just go for a beer, because I'm not interested in the slightest. Then there's probably going to be a couple of updates. One quite named one is a sequel to Unravel, so Unravel 2. which is alright. I know one was alright. Moving on to the next one is Bethesda, which is also on the Sunday, but at 7 PM Pacific or 3 AM UK. I hate you, Bethesda. You are the latest one to start. 3 AM. Not even Sony's one on the Tuesday night is that late, early or late, depending on how you look at it. So. The one interesting note that always seems to come out of the Bethesda one is that Blink 182 are doing the after party, which is weird. Okay, fair enough. They're doing that now. As for games, there's going to be The Evil Within 2, probably a Prey 2, probably something, either another add-on or a sort of response to Wolfenstein. So either a Wolfenstein 2 or some sort of sequel add-on thing to Wolfenstein Old Blood, so something along those sort of lines. Dishonored 2 is definitely going to be there. It was announced last year, so Dishonored 2 is going to at least have a show in. There's a rumoured Skyrim HD edition, which is possibility. They've already said there isn't going to be a Morrowind HD edition, so if you're waiting out for a Morrowind HD thing, that's not going to happen. They've already said they're not doing that one. The Skyrim one, possibly. That's one of the rumoured ones, but it is Skyrim. It's one of the most popular ones, so possibly. But they don't really have that much of a history of peeing out HD editions like other developers or publishers, so it possibly. And they're probably going to go on about Doom, because that's a new game. Probably some sort of DLC for it, probably something like that. And they're probably going to go on about Fallout 4, because there's only been the few DLCs for it, like the Automaton Builder thing and the Far Harbor, and a few other ones. Another one I can't remember. But yeah, they're probably going to talk about Fallout 4. There's probably going to be a lot of talk of some of their current franchises and the current series of games that's going on at the moment, like Fallout 4 and Doom, for DLC or add-ons or stuff like that, to try and keep the game going. Bethesda is one of the ones where it does a lot of additional content to it. It's like the one like Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas had a whole bunch of DLC. So yeah, Bethesda is probably going to be doing a lot for that as well. Then onwards comes Microsoft. Microsoft is, like I said, they're not doing the Scorpio, but there's a possibility of an Xbox One Slim. So that's a possibility. They might. But with the way that the new hardware stuff is going, then probably maybe not. The HoloLens is probably going to get a thing. They're very proud of the HoloLens, but the HoloLens is still very early on. Probably going to be showing that off again. They've been showing it off for basically all the other E3s since its announcement, so it's probably going to have some sort of talky thing of some kind. That's probably only going to be it, like they've done before, like last year with the Minecraft little table demo thing that they did. So they might do something like that again, purely because they've done that basically every year since. Crackdown 3 is going to get a show in, which is, well, people have been known about Crackdown 3 for ages. It was announced at CES, I think it was, last year. But they were showing off, oh, look at the power of the cloud, and yeah. So Crackdown 3 probably going to get a show in. Halo Wars 2 that's one of the ones that's floating in the ether about getting a show in. Gears of War 4 is going to get a show in, and they're going to make a big deal about the Windows 10 and the connectivity with Xbox One, because they really want to push this Windows unified platform. They really want to do that because they want to really squeeze a tight grasp onto their marketplace, which is going to be the Windows marketplace, the Xbox marketplace. They want to really tighten and squash and squeeze and compact everything all together, so everything goes through them, everything Windows and Xbox and related, because they're doing a lot of stuff now. Because you've got the Windows phones, Windows 10, the Xbox One, the Xbox Live, all of that stuff is combined together for this Windows unified platform, which is generally a bad idea, because it's good for them, bad for the consumer. So yeah, so that's the feeling about that. But they're probably going to have a thing about that. Probably think about Windows 10 to try and push everyone to Windows 10, because people like me still haven't gone to Windows 10 and going, no, we're not going to Windows 10. No. half of the things I don't use, so then comes the PC Gamer Conference. Right, not really part of the E3 thing, but still conspicuously timed so it doesn't collide with neither the Microsoft one before or the Ubisoft one after. At least it's not going to be the sort of thing where it was like last year, where it started like 2 in the morning, went on for 3 hours. The last year's one was terrible. I hated that one because they spent most of the time going, look, buy these chipsets. Don't care. They're your sponsors. That's why they're there. So, yeah, that's whole fun, isn't it? But they're the ones playing it tight to their chest. They're a gaming journalism site anyway, so of course they're going to be playing it tight to their chest. But they have released a company list, and it includes people like Microsoft, Bohemia Interactive, so DayZ is probably going to have a show in, Oculus, so VR is probably going to have a show in, Paradox Interactive, which is quite a good game to do, Magica, and the other one, I can't remember the middle one. And Boss Key Studios, which is Cliffy B's game, company, not game, but he's got a game, which seems alright. But they haven't really been saying what's actually going to go on in the conference. Hopefully it's not going to be as talk showy as last time, because you could just feel the script. It was bollocks. So I hope they don't go for, if they go for that again, then be a lot more free, a lot more bouncy, a lot more chatty, not sort of obviously going off a remembered script, because that is boring and is just PR dribble, which is just not fun for anyone. And I will call out every single fucking time when they do that bollocks. Then comes Ubisoft, which is the interesting thing with Ubisoft is there is no Assassin's Creed game this year. If you're looking for Assassin's Creed 5 or anything like that, that's not this year. There is no main series Assassin's Creed game this year, but one reason why they might be doing that, on top of giving the series a break, is because the movie is coming out later in this year. The one with Fassbender. So, while I can see them not making a big deal about the games, or them talking about like Assassin's Creed Chronicles, the app games, the mobile games that they do, but I can see them making a big deal about the Assassin's Creed movie, because they're doing a big push for movies. Because the Division apparently has got something on the cards for doing a movie. And there's another one, I can't remember. But yeah, so there's loads of ones like that, which is... Ubisoft are very much moving into the movie space as well. So while there is no Assassin's Creed game, probably one of the reasons for that is because of the movie. And I will be very impressed if they do a move like pull out Fassbender on stage to talk about the movie. That would be a good move, because that way you can actually advertise the movie, because the movie seems okay. I have some sort of trust in Ubisoft to not fuck up the movie, because the movie seems alright. No matter how everyone seems a bit pessimistic about the whole thing, but to me it seemed like a very good adaptation of it. But again, that always comes to the whole thing of being a good adaptation may still not be a good movie. The same way that being a good movie may still not be a good adaptation. So, it seemed like a good adaptation from what I've seen. So, if they pull out Fassbender or something, then that'll be very impressive. For actual games, there's going to be Watch Dogs 2. For Honor is going to have a big thing. I was very impressed last time. So, the big guy with the beard and the cane. That was really cool. South Park, The Fractured Butthole. Yeah, it's a South Park game. I like the South Park games, so that's going to be one that's going to be quite fun. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon Wildlands, their open world Ghost Recon-y thing, is going to be there as well. Yeah, probably talking about some of the other stuff as well, like the Division, the current things, the crop that they got out. Yeah, so Ubisoft is going to be the one that's going to be quite interesting. Mainly because Ubisoft is in the current move of expanding, but not just in games, but into movies as well. So it should be quite interesting to see their moves, because it might prove a few more hints to the other things that they want to do outside of gaming. Then comes Sony, again, the Neo, not there. Don't expect anything 4K. They have confirmed it, but there is no PS4 4K or PS4 Neo, no matter how you want to call it. But there is, it seems like a very big PlayStation VR push. They're showing off a lot of PlayStation VR games, probably to preamble the whole PS4K, because I think the thing they want to do is to release the PlayStation VR, which is coming out later in this year, and then they're going to bring out the PlayStation 4K, which is basically something with a big graphical boost to it, and say this is best for VR, and then sell that as the VR console thing, as a big update thing to the PlayStation 4. So yeah, they're going to be releasing the PlayStation VR and then probably the PlayStation 4K at some point next year or the year after. I think it might have some. I think this is one of the times they might be looking towards Microsoft and Nintendo. Well, what they're going to be doing with the Xbox One Slim or the Scorpio and the Nintendo NX, because Nintendo, they seem like they're going to be competing with everyone else now when it eventually comes out. For other Sony stuff, there's a Devolver Digital, again, is going to be having a big thing. Killing Floor 2 has been confirmed that Die is going to be there. So the Sony one seems to be quite alright. Although, yeah, it's going to be quite interesting to see what they do, because for the last couple of years, Sony has had this big push towards doing stuff like TV, with the PlayStation Vue, moving in much more of a multimedia stance with its consoles. So it'll be quite interesting to see what they actually do now, because if they start moving deeper and deeper into being this sort of multimedia device thing, then it's going to be very deeply heading into the PC territory, which is not going to be very good for them, because they're going to be competing against basically every home device if they start doing that. So I think I would think it would be a good thing for them to push games more than their media stuff, although they probably are going to push the media stuff like Vue and Powers, the Powers TV series or Powers series and other things like that, because they are good, but they need to push the games. This is a games console after all. And then comes Nintendo with their stream, which basically only has 2 games on that, which is the new Zelda, which has got loads of other rumours around it, but they're going to be concentrating a lot on the new Zelda game. The other game they're concentrating a lot on is Pokemon Sun and Moon, the new Pokemon outings, which is going to be interesting. And that's pretty much it. There's no Nintendo NX. They might talk about mobile games with stuff like Pokemon Go and things like that. Otherwise, I don't really have that. Nintendo doesn't have that much to show off. They really don't. The new Zelda looks fine. The new Pokemon Sun and Moon it's a new Pokemon game. What else do you expect? So, yeah, that's going to be one that's going to be quite interesting, because that's going to be one that's going to be more announcement-centric. That's mainly because they don't have much else. So that's it for the E3 press, the E3 primer stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff which I haven't talked about, but that's mainly because some of them are unconfirmed. Still, these things, a lot of the companies play it very close to their chest these days, so it's very hard to dig through the rumours, because there's a lot of conflicting reports about various things this year. It's gonna make it quite interesting, more to see who's right, more than seeing what's announced. Because a lot of the time now, it's just going to be stuff we already know about, like Crackdown 2 Crackdown 3 actually for Microsoft, and Watch Dogs 2, and South Park: The Fractured Butthole. It's the sort of it's things like that. A lot of the stuff is going to be stuff that we already know, and a lot of the stuff that we don't know that could be getting announced is stuff that is getting conflicting reports, like the Xbox One Slim. It's they could, but they also could not. So yeah, this E3 one's going to be an interesting one. More, yeah, Gamescom is going to be fun, because it seems like everyone's holding out stuff for Gamescom in August, which is very interesting, because I'm going this year to Gamescom. I got my pass. I'm going to Gamescom this year, so it should be fun.